Christopher Columbus was a man who went to sea. He sailed for Spain, but he himself was born in Italy. He took 3 ships, the Nina, Pinta, and the Saint Marie. He went for gold and glory and his deity. His homeland would not have him, so he went to Prince Henry, the one they called the navigator of the Portuguese. He was too busy sending ships around the other way, so Chris he went to Ferdinand and Isabel of Spain. They were a bit distracted fighting all those holy wars, driving out the Moors, and Jews had made the country poor. Now Chris was not alone in thinking that the world was round, but the wise men thought his calculations weren't on solid ground. They thought the voyage was too long, it'd sink right out of sight. If America had not been there, they'd probably be right. See, Chris he had no notion to discover a new land. He was after valuables he knew were in Japan. It all came down to money though, so Ferdy sent him home. He had none left to invest and no boats to put on loan. Chris thought his years of politicking had come all to naught, but after he left Isabel, she had a second thought. The Queen, she took a fancy to the idealistic tar, and after some convincing, Ferdy was also an oar. They seized 3 ships by something like our eminent domain, and pretty soon Columbus was afloat out on the main. They wanted to go home. He struck a deal and they sailed on Newfoundland by the dawn. Perhaps it was San Salvador, no one is really sure, but the Taino they were friendly and at first there was no gore. Columbus thought they'd make good slaves and put some in his hold. With parrots, fruits and promises he never struck real gold. They called the people Indians. Columbus still believed he'd made it to the Orient, till death he was deceived. He wrecked the Saint Maria on a reef where she stuck tight, and blamed it on a cabin boy who had the helm that night. You wonder how it came to be the captain slept below in unfamiliar waters no white mariner could know. Columbus was a clever man, he held the natives thrall, pretending the eclipse would come and go upon his call. He left behind a fortress from which no one did return, and in the 2 remaining ships began the long sojourn, to bring his news and treasures back to Ferd and Isabel. The admiral of the ocean seas had lots of tales to tell, but the sailors were afraid the wind would never shift around. But Chris sailed north and then turned east, and sure enough he found a steady breeze back homeward despite the storms and rain. And losing one co-captain, he found his way back to Spain. Some say Chris knew the trade winds and had seen a secret map, coughed up by some sailor who had been across and back. Now I myself have sailed across the wide Manhasset Bay. I'm hoping if the weather's fine I'll cross the Sound someday. It ain't right to take prisoners, genocide's not okay. Still you've got to hand it to him, sailing all that way.